Probably should not pick my nose.
Yeah, that's a good point. Okay, we're going.
Okay, sweet.
Okay. What are we gonna talk about?
Cheers, brother.
Cheers.
I don't know. We can talk about anything we want.
Okay. Well, first of all, I want to talk about the technical difficulties I've had to endure to set up this podcast. I don't know what you're thinking. It's not that hard. It's not that hard to set up a podcast.
Yeah, man. After seeing,
it's kind of hard.
Yeah, after seeing you try and pull this off, I don't know if I want to do a podcast. You just pulled out two computers. You pulled out two computers,
one of them
a
didn't
mic,
work.
Another mic, a stand.
It's like oh this device fucking camera is not recognized by this device. Oh this speaker says it's hooked up, but you know we're speaking into it. It's not working.
And then why do you have ports for it? If you don't recognize the device, why do you even have a port for it? Why? I don't understand this. But yeah, dude, I don't know about all that. I don't know if you first you have yourself an Apple, and then you got a Windows.
That's a 2012 Apple.
It's 2012
Classic.
Apple. Well, then I'm sure they made that thinking the world's gonna end during 2012. So
yeah.
But
dude, the Mayan calendar. Did I heard this other thing? It's like an 80-year window, so something's gonna happen, but at latest in 2040. Wasn't that convenient for the people?
2040.
That prophesized it. Yeah.
80 years. That doesn't make any sense.
I don't know. Because it's a.
Is it like a lunar
It's a calendar that goes off the shifting of the celestial bodies and not the something else that.
Like the sun.
I don't know.
That's weird how somehow different civilizations actually have that. Like, there's a lunar calendar. There's also a Gregorian calendar. Is that what it's called? Some bullshit like that.
Gregorian?
Something like that. Or I'm gonna just make that word up. I'm gonna make that word up.
That sounds like something.
You have those two calendars, and then you have the Mayan calendar, and it's like, all right, well, how do people make calendars for different things? Like, why not just use the sun? Like,
yeah.
And also, like, 365 days. I know that's like one rotation around the Earth.
Yeah.
But like, I don't think they were figuring that shit out thousands of years ago.
Bro, that's a new thing, man. Like, okay, so I don't know, have you ever watched the Joe Rogan with Graham Hancock where they talk about how ancient civilizations and like a catastrophic event?
Yeah. Dude,
I listened to it while I was riding around on a bike the other day, and they say that a huge-ass comet or an asteroid or something hit the Earth around 12,800 years ago and instantly vaporized a huge body of mass, like glaciers that were like 2 miles high. And there's a lot of evidence in the fossil record of massive flooding. You know what? You know why it's also kind of crazy? Because of that story in the Bible about the flood.
Noah.
Yeah.
Noah's only like 4,000 years ago. Because according to the Bible, the Earth is only like 6,500 years.
Dude, wait, Noah's only 4,000 years ago?
Pretty sure. But I mean, it's been a while since I've read that shit. But I'd be curious about like massive flooding, because like, if an asteroid hit, wouldn't that just vaporize the water and turn to steam?
Yeah, but it's all trapped in the atmosphere, so it's gonna rain.
I guess that's true.
Torrential downpour.
I don't know, man. I don't know about all that. We'll see.
Yeah, me neither.
But
we could do our but what?
No, I was thinking. Say Graham guys. Graham Hancock? First of all, it's a weird ass name.
Graham Handjob.
Graham Handjob? How could you not? How
job.
bullied was he in high school and junior high? Hey, look, it's Handjob. Handy. Graham Handy. I mean, that's just off the top of my dome. That's just been 4 years with the guy. Yeah. He's thinking like a false, not a false, but he's thinking a different science.
Yeah.
So I'm sure it's easy to like make fun of him. It's like, well, if Graham Handy thinks this happened, it must be true.
But he talks like he knows shit. Like I think he's English. He's from Great Britain.
Something like that.
And he talks. Well, I was going to do an impression, but he talks very matter of factly.
Yeah, I don't know though.
Yeah.
What we were talking about earlier.
What?
Confidence is everything.
Yeah, that's true.
Do you know one time I got drunk and I started pulling out bids of tile work for people? I've never worked tile before in my life. And
what were you doing?
I was just drinking. I was meeting. Yeah, met this girl and her friends were talking about how they needed some tile work done. And I was like, oh, I work with tile all the time.
Yeah.
They're like, oh yeah, like how much would it cost for us to do, a 100 square foot base? And I was like, you're looking at like 180 depending on the product that you want to buy.
You're just pulling it out. Pulling out numbers.
They're like, well, we have this tile, and they asked like, what's the difference between tile and laminate?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, basically, tile or laminate is a nicer form of tile.
Yeah.
Totally lied. I had no idea what was going on.
I feel like tile's a nicer form of laminate.
Yeah, probably. Wow, I talked to my boss later because, the next day I was talking to my boss, and my boss actually works with tile. And he was like, yeah, everything you just said was a lie. Like,
yeah.
I was like, oh.
Except, have you seen those dope laminate pieces that fit together and it looks like a hardwood floor, but it's really sturdy and you can just clean shit right up off it?
That's nice.
That's pretty nice.
That's not bad, actually.
Not bad, yeah. It looks good.
Yeah, apparently my parents' house, they have hardwood floor, but apparently it's old school hardwood floor, so it's like a half inch. And apparently that boosts the house up a couple $1,000 because like it's not fake, it's real. But that's kind of odd. It's wood, I don't know.
These are from the endangered balsa wood trees of New
Guinea.
Guinea.
Back to that story. I actually did end up hooking up with that girl. That was nice. It was a 45-year-old Russian.
45 years old?
Yep.
Wow.
I had to do it for America.
America!
Because I'm not about to let the Soviets win. I had to do it.
Yeah. Can't do that. I would say we should team up with them, but they seem too crafty. They seem like
they'd never. Yeah, they'd.
Not Soviets in general, just maybe the leadership.
Nobody wants to play fair, especially in geopolitical things. Yeah. So, if we were like, hey, look, here's all of our information, let's give it up. And then they're like, yeah, okay, here's a bunch of fake information. What's going on?
Hey, Mom. We're shooting a podcast.
Oh, right now?
Yeah. You want to get in on this action?
How's your concert?
It was good.
Nice. Yeah. That's good.
Yeah. Good, man.
Yeah, my friend Steve's at a concert right now for Garth Brooks.
Yeah.
It's at the Denver where the Denver Broncos play, and it's sold out. That's how popular Garth Brooks is.
Oh, I have no doubt, dude.
He sold out. What's that? What does the Broncos Stadium hold? Like 45,000 people?
That's not Garth Brooks. Yeah. Have you ever heard The Thunder Rolls?
And the Thunder Rolls. Yeah. The lightning strikes.
Oh man, that one hit me deep.
That's yeah.
Do you have any comedy material ready?
No, not really. I don't know. I'm just kind of ripping.
I have some.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What are you gonna say?
You ready for this?
Do you have any comedy material ready? I'm actually trying to write a joke about cocaine.
Damn it! I just deleted it off my phone.
So it must not have been that good.
Well, I put it on a document, but it's sitting there, and I don't want to just look like I'm looking on a computer.
I don't know. Some podcasts have computers, but those have producers. You need to get yourself an intern. You work at the University of Utah.
And then I could.
You should get yourself an intern.
Be like, hey, you could Google this.
Yep.
Maybe we should get a table.
You can also attach it to your, link it up with the TV. That way we could look at it. But, I don't know. Future reference, I guess.
What's going on, though? We should talk about important stuff.
Like what? What's important to people? What's important to me? What's important to you?
Right? What's important? So
I could talk about wrestling, but that's not important to you.
Well, if it's important to you, that's fine. But I was going to say what's important to me first.
Do it.
What is important? That's a good question. Oh. Relationships with people.
Yeah.
Making other people feel good.
Well, you're like one of my longest lasting relationships.
Yeah.
We've known each other since first grade, second grade, something like that.
Yeah. But we didn't start hanging out till like 8th grade. 7th or 8th.
Yeah. Pal, we went to like Boy Scouts and shit.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what's weird is like with all the Boy Scout stuff coming out about like scout leaders and stuff, like you always hear people saying like, oh, I'd never let my kids join the Scouts. I mean, I didn't have a problem with Scouts.
Bro, I cherish my childhood scouting memories.
Yeah. Like I think it was fine. I mean, we went boating and shit, we went camping. None of us got touched, at least I don't think. Maybe.
Maybe I blacked it out of my mind.
Yeah, I just blacked it out. I was too loud as a kid, though. Like, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
like,
as a kid,
I'm way too loud. Like, I definitely like spill the beans. I'd be like, "This is our little secrets." Like, I can't keep secrets. I can't keep secrets now. I can't keep secrets later. or earlier. So
they made mental notes. Don't fuck with that.
Yeah,
kid.
do not fuck with
He's
Jordan.
loud.
Jordan will tell everybody, and he'll like think it's okay.
Yeah.
And so maybe that was the reason. But yeah, man, I had a good time during Scouts.
But that just in general, right? Why is that so attractive to people in positions of power, especially like the Catholic Church?
Yeah.
Because they're supposed to be the righteousness, the most righteous of the righteous, right? Like they can directly speak to God, right? They're so pure in everything they do, and that's like one of the worst things you can do is fuck up with a kid.
Right, kind of. So the Catholics believe that like the Pope doesn't talk directly to God. They believe that, and my understanding, so they believe that God left, and he's coming back during the second coming.
Okay, maybe not talk to him, but you know what I'm saying.
No, yeah, I know. And like I think that, well, I mean, like back in like the day, like the priests and cardinals and everyone like that, like those were famous people 1,000 years ago. The Catholic Church was the Hollywood of life.
Yes, for a long time, for thousands of years, right? So they probably still, even today, are the most powerful church in the world.
By far. Their current estimate's like $50 billion.
Fastest growing fiscally, though, might be Mormons.
No.
You don't think so?
Mm-mm.
Huh.
Scientology's pretty big. And they have like, it's like Mormons have like a 10% tithing.
Yeah.
Tithing's where you give a portion of your money. It's kind of a
welfare
welfare system.
Yeah, you're explaining it to other people. Okay.
But
which is crazy.
Catholics have that too, but it's more of like an optional thing. But Scientology has like an 80% tithe. It's crazy, dude.
No way, dude.
Yeah, because like
80% of everything you earn.
The more you pay,
the
more you level up in Scientology. So it's kind of like a pay-to-play type of thing. But they also own vast amounts of land around LA for some reason. That's really strange to me. But Mormons probably up there. Mormons built a vault in the middle, inside Little Cottonwood Canyon.
Okay.
And the Cottonwood Mountain is just granite. It's one gigantic granite rock, and the Mormons built a vault inside of it. So they know something's coming around the corner.
Or they can hide all their secrets in there.
Yeah, well, that's how you know, like...
They probably have some secrets.
Oh, well, what organization doesn't, you know?
I feel like the older your organization is and the more powerful, the better secrets you have.
The Vatican has a library which no one's allowed to go in.
They probably have the best secrets, I'll be honest.
Oh, yeah,
Catholic Church.
For sure. They probably have the Holy Grail.
Yeah.
There's not spouting it out yet. But, I mean... Yeah, the Vatican... I'd love to go to the Vatican and love to go into that library.
Even crazier, they probably know who are the living descendants of Jesus.
Or who killed Kennedy.
Yeah.
Well, that's also for debate. Like, some people think that Jesus had a kid, but some people don't.
Well, here's the thing, dude. What do you hear about Jesus? You just hear about
he's a nice
the
guy.
birth.
He's good with
you
wood.
Hear about the birth. All the fucking material is on the birth. He was born on Christmas in a manger in Bethlehem. He's a baby. And then there's a huge gap. Until he's like 30 and he goes on his quest.
There's only one document of like him being 12 years old. There's only one thing, which is like, listen, man, if you're a god, like, it doesn't matter. I don't know, like, why wouldn't you just like record everything you're doing?
I've only heard two things. One, when he's a child, and another child steals a toy that he was playing with, and he touches him and kills him. But then his mom chides him, so he brings him back to life.
That is bullshit.
That's just what I heard.
Wait.
The other one is
whoa. Yeah. Where did you hear that?
From a person.
From a person?
Yep.
From who?
I can't place it, bro. These stories are floating around in my mind.
Jesus killed a kid.
By touching him when he was like 5.
But Jesus, when he's a god, so he's God, right? So his knowledge and his consciousness is not that of a 5-year-old.
Yeah, but he's still in the body of a 5-year-old. And then I heard
That's
one
fine,
other story.
but he wouldn't kill a kid.
As a later teenager, where he was traveling and teaching doctors about
he was teaching a bunch of scholars in the temple.
So you've heard that one.
I've heard that one, but I've never heard of him killing a kid when he was 5.
Well, he brought him back to life.
That's some petty shit.
I know. Steal my toy? Okay.
Boom! What a weird way to kill somebody, too. Touch him? I don't know about all that. But yeah, then he became... Yeah, around 30. I think he died when he was like 35.
33.
33.
Yeah. 30 to 33. Those
Let
are.
me
That's,
tell you
that was
something,
his,
man. Like, I know a lot of jackass 33-year-olds, but like,
I know 3 is my favorite number, and I don't know. I think it's magical, but not because of Jesus.
no, that's more of a divine. That's more of like a celestial number. That's also because Nikola Tesla said you need to pay attention to 3, 3, 6,
Right?
and 9.
He was a straight up genius.
He was. Some people think that he was touched by, either an angel or an alien.
That used to be a show on TV, Touched by an Angel, where that guy would get the newspaper a day early. Remember that?
No.
Oh, okay.
That's how shitty television is. It's like, so here, can you imagine that pitch?
He tries to save everything.
What are you gonna save? What are you gonna do?
Like there was a fire in some place. Oh my gosh, there's a fire. I gotta go check it out.
What a weird superpower. He gets the newspaper a day early.
Yeah.
I don't even. Can you imagine if
That
that
was
happened
when I
now?
was a kid, dude. Now nobody would read it.
Nobody really knew. They're tanking. Even if they could predict the future.
Oh, it's a day early. It must be a misprint.
Like, yeah, Wall Street Journal keeps sending me day early newspapers. I just think that they're. I don't even have a subscription to New York
Dude,
Times.
if they were stock tips a day early.
Yeah, that's what I'm
all the
saying.
stock
Like,
numbers.
that's what's so like. That's the other thing about a movie, like about that TV series. Like, what? He's just gonna save people? No. I would look at every single. I wouldn't even look at the obituaries. I'd look at stocks, or football games. Like, do you realize how much money you could win betting on games?
That just even says more about that guy's character. He got the newspaper day early. He wasn't even in the stock section. He was just trying to help people.
Well, maybe it was like a special newspaper where he only had like he didn't have the sports section.
Yeah.
Like God, like I'm not giving you the sports section or the economic section. I'm giving you crisis things.
Yeah.
Or I don't know.
Tempting fate.
But I mean, yeah, man, Jesus is a weird one.
Yeah.
Especially because like you can believe, people who believe in it, people who don't believe in it, it's whatever. But like,
yeah. So yeah, that's basically
it's odd.
age 2 to age 30. No information. Okay,
Yeah,
what
information.
are the years that you get the horniest and get most concentrated on women? Those years.
Those
years.
Again, he's God.
Yeah.
So he doesn't have the
well,
same.
he's a piece of God.
He doesn't have. No. Some religions think that he is God. So like Jehovah, God,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, and the Holy Ghost. They're all the same thing.
Yeah.
Some other religions think that they are 3 separate things.
But he's bound in a body of flesh, and I feel like that had to have fucked with him a little bit.
A little bit, but at the same time, he still has the consciousness of God. So
Yeah.
he wouldn't be fucking people.
Well, I'm saying start a family.
Maybe, but you think he would have wrote that? He's 30, so his kid.
Yeah.
Let's say if he did, right? Let's say if he did, that he would have to have had a kid, and like, and also like taking into consideration the time and the place. They're in Jerusalem, 2,000 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, there's no divorces there. Like, you don't get divorced, and there's no like.
Oh, you want a divorce? Bam, we're gonna stone you.
Yeah, exactly. You're dying, and like also there's arranged marriages, so I don't think anyone would want to like, hey, you want to marry? I'll marry my son to your daughter. He's God. Like, what? What are you talking about?
Well, I heard there was higher overall happiness rates and lower overall divorce rates in arranged marriages than the ones that you get to choose. But you know what? I'd rather choose.
Well, you know what?
What?
I'm sure in an arranged marriage you can't get divorced anyway. So it's not like of course
So,
divorce rates are going to be at an all-time low. And happiness, I don't know about all that. They probably have to say it's like, yeah, I'm happy. Get me out of here. But I don't know.
Did you hear about that guy that lit himself on fire in front of the White House?
No.
Like a week ago.
He's trying to pull some Vietnam shit.
No, dude. And there was a video of it, and he was straight like 100% like engulfed in flames.
Yeah, so it's like that monk one, like the monk who burned himself alive. But that's a
Yeah.
gangster move because he didn't even flinch.
Yeah. Well, this guy didn't really either. He was just walking around very calmly.
And then just like lit himself on fire.
No. The whole time he was walking around calmly while he was on fire.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Why?
Dude, the person filming it was like, are you guys seeing this? And everybody else thought it was some kind of stunt for a movie or something. They're like, oh, they're just doing it. He's like, no, this is real. That guy, somebody called the ambulance
So
because.
was he protesting Trump or something?
I don't know. Something with the White House.
Because Trump was in London like the last 2 weeks.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure he heard about it.
Oh yeah, obviously, but like, there are people that still protest to this day.
And then he got like somebody ran over to him with a fire extinguisher and just flamed him out, tackled him.
Weird. I don't know. You still have like people that like Occupy Wall Street, like that whole thing that happened 10 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, but you can't. He died in the hospital like shortly after.
I don't doubt it.
You can't go through like fire is so hot. And I know that sounds redundant, but like, right?
Fire is hot.
Fire is hot as fuck.
It's lit.
Dude. Like you hold up a match, you hold your hand over a candle for a few seconds.
Ooh. You didn't tell me I burnt my hand.
That's hot.
I grabbed a sparkler at my friend's wedding last week, and I could tell how drunk I was because I grabbed it and it immediately blistered up, and I didn't feel it, and I was like, oh boy, I'm drunk.
That's something we can talk about.
Drinking or sparklers?
Funny things at the gym, because we have to have at least some of them.
Oh, I mean, we have a bunch of them.
Okay, I got one.
Okay.
When people go there, but they just go there so they can be there. They don't really go there to work out, so they either do, like, you know that bike machine, but it's just a hand machine? It's like this.
Listen, like, if you're not in a leg cast, you're not allowed to work that machine. I'd put that in front of that machine. Like, listen, you need to be, like, your legs need to be, you need to be paralyzed, or your legs need to be broken or something. Because you can't just use this.
Or people that use the medicine balls, but they don't do anything on them. They just kind of lay on them on their backs and just like bounce around a little bit.
Yeah, that's
like
a weird
seal
one.
tanning itself on the beach.
There's so many different ways to like work out. Like workouts just like religion. There's a million different workouts, and some of them are bullshit.
And some people, it's like you don't need to yell so loud. They're just like
Who grunt, man? Like one time I saw this guy who was doing push-ups, but he was doing inverted push-ups against the racked weights. So like the dumbbells were racked and they were in place, and he was just doing push-ups on them. And then he'd switch to like 50s, and then he'd go to 60s, and then he'd go to 70s, and then he'd go to 80s, just doing like 10 push-ups on these dumbbells.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't use them,
yeah.
Just did push-ups against them.
That's
He was grunting so hard, spit was flying out. You could see a trail of like spit on the mirror. And I was like, what are you doing?
His hair just spikes up like a Super Saiyan.
Hot. And I was like, oh yeah, at the same time, maybe he knew something I didn't, so. But the best are the guys that either grab a bench or they grab a squat rack and they put an ungodly amount of weight on that they should not be lifting it to start with. And like,
go up 2 inches.
2 inches and then go down. And they have like the big wraps and everything. And it's like, yeah.
Well, I don't know if they have the wraps for that, because I feel like if you use wraps, then you kind of have to know how to use them. You mean the one that like pushes it back up, helps you push it back up?
No. I'm just talking about like your elbow wraps.
Oh, that's
or like
true.
your knee
That's
wraps.
true. People have
and
those.
Also, people can buy whatever, you can. People who are experienced, people who aren't experienced, can buy the same product. So you're gonna have like a jackass that has leg wraps for no reason.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Overall, the gym's fine. I mean, I don't get the people who talk all the time. I've seen people talk for 45 minutes and then leave.
Yeah. Well, that's a good workout.
Yeah. So, well,
just going around.
All right.
Or else when they're just chilling there and talking, and they set all their stuff next to a machine, it's like, hey man, are you using this? Yeah, I'm using it.
I had a guy try and sell me car insurance.
Hell yeah.
It was one of those friends that's like I hadn't seen in years, and I was like, "Oh, hey, what's up, Brian?" He's like, "Oh, Joe, what's going on?" Hey, man, I got a great question to ask you. He didn't even ask me like how I was doing or how my family was. He was just like, I got a question. Who's your car insurance provider? I was like, what?
Hell yeah.
Like, I was sitting there with like I was carrying like weight, I was trying to rack something. And I was like, State Farm. He's like, well, that's your problem right there. And he leaned against the bench. He's like, here's what I do, and I'm like, all right. I'm good, man. And he's like, well, can I get your phone number? Can we talk about it later? And I was like, I mean, I'm happy with it. I'm good, man. He's like, okay. And he looked over. He's like, Christian, let me talk to you for a second. And walks over to him, and I'm just like, he had gloves, he had a tank top on, he was looking ready to go to the gym, but he wanted to sell car insurance, which at the same time probably isn't a bad move, going to the gym, but you have to like, I don't know. I just don't feel the need to bother people at the gym.
He's got his goals, man.
Yeah. His goals are not fit. It's financial.
Mm-hmm.
But do what you gotta do, I guess. They, I don't know, weird people, man. But I see that at the park. So like I work for the county, and I'm at the park all the time.
Yeah.
You cannot believe the amount of people that I see that are like most likely cheating on their wife or their husband.
What?
Yeah.
Like what?
So here's what I see this happen all the time, where I'll be working and some car will will park, and then another car will park 6 spaces down.
Mm-hmm.
They'll get out of their car, they'll kiss, they'll hold hands, and they'll walk off into the distance. And they're only there for about 30 or 40 minutes, and they get back in their separate cars.
You think they fucked in the park?
Maybe, or I think it's just more they're just hanging out.
Just like
a
shared time of romance.
Yeah, like that's just the other thing. But that's the thing. What are you doing driving separate cars if you're together? Or
maybe they had to go from work and she was coming from a meeting.
Yeah, or parks are probably the best place to meet with somebody that you should be meeting with.
Well, yeah, name a better place.
Yeah, it's open. It's secluded most of the time during when kids are in school and everything like that. 11 to probably not even that, 9 o'clock to 2 o'clock. There's no one in the park really because everyone's working.
It's pretty.
It's pretty.
You got some nature scenes.
Yeah, got some nature. You can walk around.
Scope out some nature views.
And you can also see if people are coming from different angles.
They're coming. They're going.
And there's hundreds of parks. At least in Utah. So.
Which I am grateful for. Parks are cool.
Parks are amazing. They're also a good place to get a hand job.
You know what trips? Whatever, bro. You ain't never got a hand job in a park.
I was in a parking lot one time. But that was sketchy. I felt real uncomfortable about that whole thing. Oh well.
You know what else is sketchy? Smoking weed in the park.
Oh yeah.
I don't know why. It just is. It just
because it's a public place.
Who's that?
Yeah. Like the best would be smoking. I used to smoke weed, but I do it in the church parking lots, which is when you're sober. It's yeah, I'm gonna go to a church parking lot because no one's here, right? And then you get stoned and you're like, oh shit, no one's here except for my car. So I'm obviously doing something I shouldn't be doing.
Most comfortable spot to smoke weed outside of your own property?
House, yeah.
The parking lot of 24. I feel so at home there, dude.
I know.
Nobody's gonna say shit.
I know you do, and it's such a weird thing because
but it's real.
That has so much foot traffic, man.
Yeah.
I think it's because
I feel like they can respect it though. They're like, man, he's just trying to get it in before he gets it in.
Yeah, I know. But still, I mean, there's a bunch of variables walking around.
Yeah. Well, I don't walk around there though.
No, not you.
Oh.
Other people walking around.
Yeah.
You like to smoke at a volcano, so it's not like you're hitting the pipe and just kind of
like what's that
this
balloon
thing's
thing?
With a big ass trash bag in your car.
They're like, what's that?
And then you just put a nozzle to it.
It's an apparatus.
It's an apparatus. It's just the cleanest way to get high. I know it is, but sometimes you gotta sacrifice clean
Except
for
eating
efficient.
though. Like eating it through edibles.
I mean, well, that just gets you differently high. But yeah,
and it's cleaner. There's no strain on your respiratory system.
Yeah, that's true, I guess.
Just saying, bro. I know they're like, oh, but vaping isn't as bad as smoking. Okay, it might not be, but it still definitely does something to your mucous membranes. And I don't know what it is, and they're going to find out in the future after they do a bunch of research. I'm saying that right now.
No, yeah, I mean, people who think that
that there's no negative health effects to vaping are
ridiculous.
Up in the night.
Yeah, they're dumb. Well, then, do you know how much, first of all, you're still smoking nicotine, so problem one.
And that's straight up poison.
Yeah, exactly. That's just
so
nicotine.
Is alcohol.
Yeah, true. But people get addicted to nicotine. People don't necessarily, the rate's higher to get addicted to nicotine, but.
Yeah.
And, that's the other thing, it's weird, man. People just, they consider themselves cleaner because they smoke out of a machine as opposed to smoking tobacco.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like futuristic androids. That's how they would smoke.
Sucking cyber dicks, man. That's what I call it. But hey, man, everyone has their crutch.
What else is some crazy shit that we don't really know about?
That we don't really know about? Well, I don't know much about anything. Let's see.
Excuse me.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I got one. Thinking back at natural disasters and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, can the government now manufacture that shit? Is that a thing now?
Like cause a natural disaster?
Yeah.
Well, I know in Dubai they can seed clouds and make it rain.
Yeah. They're literally making their own water.
What? Dude, I feel like the Earth itself is like a snow globe, and for the majority, I know some ozone and some kind of stuff escapes, but not very much. It's mostly just a self-contained bubble, terrarium. And if you shake it up, stuff's gonna mix around in different molecules and shit. But I feel like it's pretty much the same stuff, right? It's just gonna get mixed back around.
Yeah.
Okay, let me tell it to you like this. All this CO2 and everything that everyone's worried about, like that the people are creating, it's just like making more of one thing and using other stuff to make more of one thing. I feel like that's eventually just gonna tip a scale and create harsher, naturally occurring phenomenon to bring it back to equilibrium, right? Kind of like if you, let's say you have an atom and you take off an electron, then you take off another one, and you take off another one. It's like that thing's getting more and more charged, like more and more positively charged so that just makes it more want to just go back, like react with something to go back to
right.
the equilibrium, like back to its normal state.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see
potential energy.
What kind of damage it does in the long run. Because, like, yeah. I mean, like, yeah, like, Dubai can do it to themselves, but, like, how much of that shit's traveling to, like, somewhere else? Like, Saudi Arabia, or, like, different, I guess, like, Saudi Arabia is, wait a minute. Dubai is a city in Saudi Arabia, right?
No, Dubai is its own country.
Is it?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
What if like a strong wind picks up and all those molecules just get carried over somewhere else?
Dad, we just gave all the rain to the next country.
Yeah. Dude, they have like scheduled rains. That's so weird to me.
Okay, let's talk about the real stuff that you know you think you can have. Because like let me just lay this out. We're at a time in our society where you can tell someone something that's actually happening right now and they'll think it's something out of a sci-fi movie. They're like, dude, that's not true. That doesn't happen.
That happened Tuesday.
It's like, dude, that happened 2 days ago.
Tuesday, dog. Like, okay. Where were you?
Number one, Goblin gliders. They have those. Hovercraft. They have those for real. And you know that's true.
No, they do. Okay. They're making a new telescope that only sees infrared. It's able to track down deeper parts of space.
Yeah, I'm not going to pretend like I know how that works. But
apparently, visual light is wider spread on the spectrum, and infrared's more precise. And so they're able to, they're able to take clearer pictures and farther pictures with the infrared because they're able to capture it from a farther standpoint. Because after a certain point, visual light just gets too faded.
Infrared has a shorter wavelength and a higher frequency.
Right. So it stays more focused for longer.
It stays the same forever.
Stays the same forever. Okay, there you go.
Weird about electromagnetic radiation, which is crazy. I don't know.
Yeah, that's just weird.
Sometimes you try to think about stuff and you realize you don't really know that much, and you're just like, fuck.
Well, how about this? How about this for some sci-fi shit?
All right.
The military can now use sound waves to attack people.
Bro, they've been
doing it for a while.
What was that movie? Tom Cruise had that sound gun that he could twist up and shoot at people, and it was a sound wave, and it blasted him back.
It was
what was that?
Minority Report.
Yeah,
that was cool shit. But
sound wave.
Yeah, the military can now do that. They can also kill somebody by giving them a heart attack. By giving them a heart attack, dude.
But how though? How are they gonna give them a heart attack?
They can focus some type of what was it? You can focus some type of a frequency thing onto a heart and it'll speed up.
Oh, maybe. Okay. I can believe that.
The military is always 5 years ahead, man.
I would say 10, but yeah.
10.
I've heard 10, right? Because, okay, I'm gonna say it. Because what's the most advanced commercially available technology that we have right now? Probably our cell phones. Probably our smartphones. That's available to
I know, man. Our fridges are getting do you know, on new fridges. You have to accept terms and conditions in order for that to get that thing to work.
I didn't know that,
dude. Like, it's like, oh yeah, you can add Wi-Fi to your refrigerators. Like, why? Why would I ever need Wi-Fi? What, do I want porn on my fridge? Like, I don't get it.
Some people do, man.
I mean, that might be kind of cool, actually.
Yeah.
Like, while you're cooking
Just
something.
making coffee in the morning, making some eggs.
And then you just, like, rub one out while the coffee's dripping. That's a weird one, like the whole porn industry.
Why? What's so weird about it?
That it's like $1 billion company, and yet nobody admits to doing it, to watching it.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, oh, I don't look at porn. I don't look at porn. It's like, yeah, why are they worth billions of dollars?
Bro, I heard Utah is like the highest porn, like watching porn in the country. State.
I don't doubt it.
And I've also heard they're really high for antidepressants.
We're high for that. We're also high for Adderall.
Yeah. Well, honestly, man, people that do Adderall, it's like that person's getting some shit done.
Maybe. Sometimes they're just partying.
Yeah. Well, they're getting some partying done.
Depends on how you take it. Yeah, I've done it before. It's a good time.
Yeah.
It's like cocaine, but
I wouldn't know.
It's more of a longevity thing.
Yeah.
Cocaine only lasts like 20 minutes.
Dude, I'm scared to do cocaine. I feel like I would like it too much.
You should be. You will be. Well, hey man, cocaine will make you want to start a business. There's that whole thing, like, yeah, cocaine ruins lives. Why? Because it's so awesome. That's why.
Because it's so awesome. But did I tell you about that one fucking technology they got that... Okay, so think about this, like a two-dimensional plane, I think I already told you this, around a crop or like a house or something, and then anything that flies through it, any bug or anything, it can identify by the wing pattern, like how it beats its wings. And then it's got UV lasers hooked up to the same thing, and it shoots every single mosquito and kills it that flies into the box.
Why would you do that? Why would you need that?
Okay, take it back. They can program it to sense any bug, right? So any insect or pest, they won't have to, like, if they made this available to farmers and everything, they wouldn't have to use all these harmful pesticides. Yeah.
But you have to realize, how big is the pesticide lobby? How much money do they make?
Yeah, Monsanto.
Yeah.
Right? It's probably pretty big. That's a
They
decent
probably
point.
would never let that shit happen.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I don't know. That's kind of why it's
like fertilizing companies are just barely getting sued right now.
Yeah.
Because of, their harmful chemicals to people.
And well, I'm probably made up of at least 3% fertilizer. 1% heavy metals, right? 2% plastic.
Yeah, like we're walking, yeah. No, yeah, I mean, like, it's a good idea, but like most good ideas they take a while to get lifted off the ground. I mean, you look at solar right now. Coal companies are trying to shut down solar still.
Solar's pretty interesting. Because it's a potentially infinite energy source.
Well, it should be, yeah. But guess what?
I guess I mean infinite as long as the life of a star is concerned. Which is what, millions of years?
Billions.
Billions of years?
An average star lasts like 3.5.
Okay, we're going to get a Google person if this ever becomes legit. They can look that shit up.
Okay, that's fine. So after 3 billion years, then our sun will turn into a red giant. It will expand.
Yeah.
Until it engulfs like Mercury, Venus, and I think Earth.
And then what does it do? Supernova?
And then it'll be there, and then it'll collapse down. And since our star is not big enough to supernova or to black hole, it'll just turn into a
white dwarf.
A white dwarf, and just kind of kick it.
Just kind of kick it. Oh. Maybe.
So our star's not big enough to become a black hole. Apparently, you need like super big stars.
Yeah. I've actually heard that our star's not big enough to become a black hole.
Pussy.
No, dude, our star's pretty cool.
It's perfect. I mean,
see it close.
It's perfect for life.
Which is weird. It's weird how big and how powerful the sun looks to us, and how tiny all those dots of light that are other stars. out in the sky look.
They're all bigger
and
than
you're
us,
like,
probably.
dude, that's far away. If our sun looks so intensely bright, you can't even stare at it for more than 20 seconds without hurting your eyeballs.
Yeah.
How far away are those other stars?
They're
far as fuck away.
I was reading that the largest star that we've seen is like 700 million times bigger than our star. It's bigger than our solar system.
That's pretty insane.
That's
if that is true.
Huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was also reading that if aliens were to look at us, and if these aliens were 90 million light years away from us,
yeah,
they'd be looking at dinosaurs.
Yeah. Because it's in the past.
Yeah.
But that was like, what, the Jurassic period was like, what, 250 million years ago?
It spans from like 250 million years ago to like 100 million years ago. People don't realize like
for how long of a period of time
the dinosaurs were here for a long time. Like,
yeah.
Do you know that, what was I forgot the two types of dinosaurs, but Cleopatra is closer linked to like a T-Rex than a T-Rex is linked to those hard dinosaurs that have like the hard head and the hard shell.
Cleopatra, a person?
Yeah, the person. Cleopatra's was only 90 million years from T-Rex.
Do you mean Cleopatra like a human?
Yeah.
We're not that close to dinosaurs, bro.
90 million years. 100 million years from like, some types of dinosaurs.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, when whatever event happened that killed out the majority of the dinosaurs, and all was left was these wimpy-ass bird kind of dinosaurs.
Yeah, bunch of bitch-ass birds.
Whatever evolved into birds. Which is actually, that's another story, because birds are insane. How they, like, navigate everything and fly around such, like, more agile and than any type of military plane that we have.
Yeah, they're born with a navigation system. Like, they know where to go for mating, and they know.
Right, if you just look at a hummingbird, you're like, that's insanity.
Like, do you know that
just staying there?
before they've like studied, before they studied hummingbirds, people thought it was impossible for like something to weigh that much.
Yeah.
And to have like that big a wingspan, they're like, no, it can never fly. It can never have lift. Same thing with bees.
Yeah.
Like, bees should not be able to get lift, but they do. They fly around all over the place.
That's the thing about dogma in science. I think it's dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Something that this is true no matter what, because we all established it.
Yeah, we all voted.
I don't know. I guess it's useful in some aspects, but just like the dogma of biology, DNA to RNA to protein. It's like, oh, that's a dogma. It's always true no matter what. I don't know. It's like, I don't know if we should be establishing dogmas at this point.
Like, if you want to talk about like quantum physics, like, I always found it curious, like, he's like, well, if you go back to Einstein, it's like, okay, yes, I mean, that's our current understanding, but what if that just changed? Like, what if an alien came down? Like, my favorite part there's a movie called The Day the Earth Stood Still with Keanu Reeves.
I haven't seen it. I do love Keanu Reeves, though.
Yeah. That's why I watched it. I was like, that's Keanu Reeves in it? I'm going to watch it. But, like, there's a scene where, like, he's standing next to a mathematician, right? He says, oh, that's pretty close. And what he does is he erases three things. For
like a minus sign?
Yeah, he only erases, like, this guy's got a chalkboard full of an equation. And he erases, like, three or four things, and adds like a minus, adds an X, and adds something. And the mathematician's like, that's impossible. Yeah. He's like, nah, dog. Nah, it's not actually.
Well, is he an alien then, or what?
Yeah, so like the whole premise on that is like, he comes down from a higher civilization of life, and he's supposed to kill everybody. But then he realizes that there's a special love in humans, and there's a delicacy.
Oh, that's heartwarming. Dude, he plays that role very well. the person to transition all the human
Neo?
race into a separate Neo.
It's like I forgot it's like the celestial role. It's like basically Jesus. Like Neo's Jesus.
Yeah.
The one who gives himself up for humanity. And then through kung fu, which is like, that's a god I can go behind, man.
Yep. Any god that can do kung fu.
Any god that can do kung fu he's a god in my book. Well, I mean, Asians usually have that kind of.
I heard he was part Asian.
Kiana?
Yeah.
I don't know. Is it Kiana or Keanu?
I thought it was Keanu.
Keanu Reeves.
Another thing, I know an Asian girl whose name is Keanu. That's all I'm saying.
Is she good at Kung Fu?
No, she's smart though.
Well, naturally, that's why I didn't ask that question. Of course she's going to be smart.
Yeah. And I said, I may have said no prematurely. I don't know about her Kung Fu status. Her Kung Fu ability status. I don't know.
She might. I mean, we're talking about how birds just know where to go. Asians just know Kung Fu.
Yeah.
What it is, what it is.
Yeah.
Or Tai Chi, or one of those ones.
Yeah. That's stereotypical, but...
Well, stereotypes.
You know what's not? It is a stereotype, but it's true as fuck. Like, Asians feel like they have to get higher scores than them. Right? They're not competing against us anymore. They're competing against other Asians who already have higher scores than us.
Yeah. Asians left everybody else in the fucking dust.
With test scores.
Oh, yeah, with test scores. Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, I mean, like, well, at the same time, like, hey, listen, like, you worked harder than I did, so, I mean,
yeah.
All right, it is what it is.
I didn't wake up at 5 in the morning to play the violin for 5 hours and then go to school for 7 hours and then come back home and do math for 7 hours.
Just because. But hey, that's just the culture. I mean, I'm sure same thing with, like, I don't know, like a lot of the Middle Eastern, like, you know, Israel and stuff like that, they're all pretty smart, but they all kind of have that same, like, I cannot disappoint my family. And Americans are like, whatever, man, like, I believe in myself and my rights, and, you know, I'm not going to work hard. It's like, okay.
Dude, Americans are hardworking, though. I feel like that's a stereotype, too.
No, yeah, most
Americans are hard workers.
Except for those ones who want universal health care. I'm just kidding. That's
probably,
it's a good idea to have.
I don't know. I just don't think healthcare should be based on a profitized system.
Yeah.
Because, okay, and here's why. Okay, I'll go into it. You know, I gotta twist my arm.
We're doing the damn thing. We're doing the damn thing.
I'm all for capitalism and choosing where you spend your money. I think that's our greatest choice that's available to us. But in certain situations, like, if you break your leg or your arm, one of your arm gets chopped off, you don't have time to shop around for the best deal. You don't have time to, like, be like, oh, I'm going here because of the better reviews and stuff. You're just going to the closest place.
Yeah, get this thing.
Put my arm back on. Yeah, they don't have time for that.
No, I agree. I think that, like, you can always just have a hybrid system. Like when people talk about, like, universal health care, okay, well, why don't we just give, like, a free physical to everybody every year?
Yeah.
How about just that? And then, as far as, you know, if you want to go to a specialty doctor, you can, but you're going to have to pay money.
Yeah.
So, like, why can't we have best of both worlds? Same thing when it came to, like, free education. Like, people just think in such black and white things. Like, what if we did a system where you only get a free education if you get a 3.8 or higher GPA? How about that?
Yeah. Well, it's kind of high, but maybe like 3.5 or higher?
Something like that, yeah. I've never got a 3.8 in my life, so. But, you know, something, you know, like, people just think, like, oh, well, like, you know, people who are going to just, like, party in college are going to get a free education. Like, no, I mean, you'd have to get good grades. Like, if you're failing out of class, then you're going to have to pay for that shit. I'm not about to pay for a jackass. Yeah. But, you know, if someone's working hard, you know, do it.
Yeah.
It only makes our economy better.
Speaking of college, dude, you should go back to college.
I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just have a problem with authority.
I got a problem with authority.
Well,
dude, that's from Too Fast, Too Furious.
Yeah.
Tyrese says that.
Yeah.
I got a problem with authority.
I'm sure other people have said it except for Tyrese.
Yeah.
I'm sure, like, the writer was like, I have a genius. Like, Hasta la Vista, baby.
I feel like I've heard that somewhere before.
Yeah.
No.
Well, my problem also at college is, like, you always meet those professors that, like, you have to buy their book to be in their class.
Yeah.
It's like, what? He's like, I'm actually a published author, too. It's like, motherfucker, you're not. Like, you went through the school.
Yeah.
Like,
and that is a stereotype, and I haven't seen too much of that. I've seen it.
I had the majority of my professors like that. They were like,
really?
Yeah, you know, like, here's the actual book on, you know, on business, but here's my book on English. And, like, the guy's book was just, like, cliff notes of other guys' books.
Yeah. Well, that's like academia, right? You could, I don't know. People are. It's just like that Graham Hancock thing, man. Like, archaeology especially is a science. I don't know if it's like okay.
I think it's more of a history.
It's very political, archaeology, right? If you go against the main dogma of how things happened, you're gonna get, what do you call it?
Ostracized? Or
Yes,
yeah.
That's it.
Big words. Yeah, I mean, you will. At the same time, I feel like this coming around with our generation. Like, people always shit on millennials, and like, yeah, there's lots of shit on it. At the same time, like, we're the ones who are asking more complicated questions on. We're not taking things at face value.
Yeah, right. We're not just fucking
like before,
fishes searching around for shiny ass lures.
Our parents were like,
we're trying to gain some knowledge here.
Like, the people that our parents would believe in the most is their priest, their pastor, or their doctor.
Yep.
And whatever they said was law. And then you're realizing, like, oh, well, a lot of priests and pastors are full of shit, and then a lot of doctors are paid under the table. So...
yeah, it's too bad.
Yeah, it is. But, I mean, we're realizing that. Like, I have this joke where I always kind of say, like, I always laugh whenever an older person makes fun of millennials. Like, motherfucker, you got us $13 trillion in debt as a nation. So don't act like you're better than us. Like, you guys are terrible people, too.
Yeah.
Your favorite toy in the 70s was a pet rock.
Yeah.
Do you know that a pet rock in 1975 was the #1 toy?
Yeah, and whoever sold that is a genius. Can I have another beer?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he's a genius. Don't get me wrong. But, like, these people that are telling me that I'm an idiot got sold on rocks. They got sold on rocks.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I mean, we're glued to our phones, so we're out here sending dick pics.
What else do we have to talk about?
We can keep talking about anything. What, man?
Okay.
We can talk about how much you want to change the subject all the time.
Yeah. You could talk about that.
I could go on about millennials and, was it Gen X or baby boomers? And who determines...
Gen X, Gen Y?
Who determines that?
I kind of wanted to be part of Gen X because it sounds cool. Generation X.
X. But no, I mean...
I think I am a millennial, though.
Oh, we are. Yeah. And, like, that's the other thing, like, my favorite is, like, I love telling people, like, my coworkers were shitting on millennials. And then I had to break it to them. I was like, dude, you guys are millennials. They're like, no, we're not. And then, they're 34 and 35. And that is, the cutoff is...
Elder millennial.
Yeah, but that's just something that older people say so they don't have to affiliate with us. There's no such thing as an elder. There's not elder baby boomers or elder Gen Y and younger Gen Y or younger baby boomers. It's just that 30-year-olds...
because of a comedy special on Netflix.
No.
Oh.
Yeah, but, like, I've heard other people say that too. It's like, oh, I'm an elder one. It's just like, no, man, you're part of us. But at the same time, like, I don't understand why generations were even created in the first place.
What do you mean created? Because
like, labeled.
Because there's this significance to it, right? Everybody born in this certain time period kind of has been exposed to certain pop culture and certain historical events that they can all kind of relate to.
Yeah. But other than that, what's the purpose of it?
I don't know. I feel like that was the purpose.
Yeah. Well, like,
it's like they're right.
So how far do you go back?
Right, because me and you, we were both in 5th and 4th grade when 9/11 happened, and they wheeled one of those big TVs in, and all right, class, we're watching this morning, this blah blah blah, and all right, we didn't know what was happening, but that's just kind of an event that we can both relate to because we were in that same age range. I'll
admit, I was pretty, because I didn't know what was going on, but I was pumped about it because we had a half a day of school off.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit, all right. Like, I remember I woke up that day and, like, my mom was crying. And I was like, all right.
Yeah.
Well, she's like, all right, I gotta take you. And it already happened.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, okay, whatever's happening is happening. And then I was also pissed at the school because the school banned scooters at that point.
I remember that.
You could not take your scooter.
That was right when I got a scooter, too.
Me too. Like, why, like, and, like, the kids were like, well, we can take our bikes, right? We can take our skateboards, right?
Okay.
Why can't we take our scooter?
Okay, get this. Do you remember McMillan on the north side, right. Okay, before you got out of the school to the basketball courts, there was like this kind of ramp, this asphalt that went up a little bit, and people would ride their scooters up and then go back down.
Yeah.
It's like, I wanted to do that so bad.
It was I went after school to do it. Yeah. But yeah, they banned scooters for some reason. So like I was like, because I really walked all of the kids out and they put the flag at half mast.
Yeah.
And I just didn't care. I was just like, man, they banned scooters. What the fuck? Like I don't understand why they do that.
You ever take a scooter hard to the shin bone and just get super angry?
Oh yeah. The worst is when you see people. This kind of becoming like a trending thing, like a scooter to the shin bone. But you know what the worst was? The worst was when you hit a rock, and then you went over the handles.
Yeah.
And then the back of the scooter came following through and hit you in the back or something. That was always the worst. That was worse than a shin thing. Because like you're on the ground and then something hits you too. And like, But I remember scooters were the shit for a while.
Yeah.
I could do a 360 one time.
Like a jump?
Yeah.
Like you pull up your scooter and do a 360?
No, that's a tail whip. I would jump with the scooter and I'd move.
That's what I was saying.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I could do that.
Oh, dang.
You know the best were when you were kids, and what I wanted so badly and I never got were those soap shoes. Remember those?
Yeah.
So people had Heelys.
Dude, you can grind on bars with these. Whoa, no way.
Yeah, and you're like, what? And people were grinding on things.
Yeah.
And then we got to junior high, and grinding took a whole different word, a whole different meaning.
Not for me, it didn't.
God, I remember so awkward in junior high.
Me too.
That just sucked.
Just with girls, though.
Oh, yeah, well, that was the most important thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Everything else was fine, but girls were always awkward.
I feel that.
I remember my first girlfriend, it took me like a month or two to like actually like spit the words out. Do you want to be my girlfriend? And like that was such a weird thing to me to say.
What'd she say?
She said, "Sure," and I was like, "Yeah."
I have to. I mean, yeah.
You're the only one in town. But yeah, man, that's a weird one. I don't know, like remembering like events as a kid, like even like during 2008 when we were in high school, and the housing market closed and collapsed and the stock market collapsed, and
yeah.
I didn't really understand what was going on. Like I was just kind of like, I was kind of a jackass 15-year-old. I was like, all right, so what's happening? Like, oh, all the banks went down. It's like, okay, so now what? And like adults were freaking out.
Yeah.
Like they lost all their money, and I was just like kind of like I didn't have an understanding of it. But then like I get to like I finally started reading about it when I'm in my 20s. I'm like, wow. Can you imagine having that shit happen to you?
Well, I think that's just a common plight of capitalism, having it so closely associated with greed and so easily. I don't know. That's just such a close trait to it, right?
Yeah, when you put money into competition, squirrely things happen.
Yeah.
Or when you add the two, I guess.
Yeah. I'm not knocking capitalism because I really like it.
I'm all for it. Yeah.
But, right, you gotta think some of that stuff's gonna happen.
Oh yeah, you have to expect
Yeah.
it. Well, if anything, man, like I mean, like you look at communism. Yeah, communism works on paper, but there's always gonna be a few assholes that are gonna want to get more money because like who just wants to live in a utopia? You don't want to live. You want
well, a real utopia, sure.
Yeah, right. But people want the highest house on the highest hill. And not everyone can have that.
I just want a simple house, but up pretty high though, kind of like a kung fu dojo, on top of a mountain.
That's the highest.
With water and electricity.
That's the highest it gets.
But I don't want a big house, just a modest house. Modest is small, dude.
But on the highest hill.
Pretty high. Then you could like if you're high up, your body automatically acclimates to produce more. Like your blood cells get what do you call it?
You're like dilated, I guess. Or they get thinner.
I don't know about that, but what I'm trying to explain is they can adapt to. They can carry oxygen better.
Okay, I believe it.
So somebody that's been raised up on a mountain top, they come back down, fuck with somebody that's been living at sea level their whole life, they can run circles around them.
Oh yeah, like when I was wrestling in Wyoming, the altitude we were at was 6,500 feet.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'd go and we'd wrestle Kansas.
Yeah.
And just beat the brakes off them.
Really?
Yeah, because they're at sea level, and we were 6,000. We were training, at 6,500 feet altitude.
Yeah.
And we'd go down there, it'd be like, you can just like take a bigger breath.
Yeah.
But that's a weird one. Like I was reading, did you see that in Mount Everest, like 5 people died because it was like a little traffic jam up at the summit?
No.
Really? So, wow, I forgot what country that Mount Everest is, but the government gives a certain amount of permits to go up to Mount Everest.
Yeah.
And they've been doing it more and more and more because it's become such a touristy thing.
Yeah.
To where last week there was literally a traffic jam of like 80 people trying to get up to Everest, and I'm back down. And like the last part of Everest, you have to like walk up this thin line.
Yeah.
And you have people that are lined up and people that are coming back down. And 5 people died because they slipped and fell.
Somebody's just taking a sled down.
That's not how that works. But yeah, people died because it was so packed up there. Which is crazy to me. Would you ever want to climb Mount Everest, given the opportunity?
Yeah, I don't know. Seems pretty cold. Seems like it would be cold.
It'd be a little chilly. It'd be a little cold. Yeah, I mean, I might want to, but I'm good. I got other stuff I want to do. Like hike Mount Kilimanjaro. That's an easy one.
I don't know about easy.
Well, I mean, like it's just high, but like it's like a really big hill. Like there's no like we don't have to use any ropes or anything like that. We just have to walk.
You're good if should we end it, or do you want to fulfill this while I go to the bathroom and then come back?
No, we can end it. I mean, how long have we been doing it? Do you have any advertisement reads?
Dude, that was an hour. We're definitely ending it.
Okay.
Okay. Anything you want to say before we end it?
No, it's awesome.
You're awesome.